Appalachian State?
I think it was before the Michigan State game.
Before Michigan
Yeah.
State, yeah. I guess how have you seen the offensive line grow since then? You were very critical of the line at the time. So
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we're able to get some consistency and kind of figure out who our guys were. I think we've had, since the Coastal Carolina game, we have had the same starting offensive line and had the same guys. And people think you can just sometimes swap those guys in and out, but there's something to guys just getting a feel for playing next to one another. And I think you're starting to see that with our group. And we're getting a group that's also played a lot of football together here at Miami. I mean, Ja'Kai Clark, this is his third year starting. It's Navon's birthday today, actually, but Navon's played here forever. Scapes a 4-year starter. Jared Williams was a freshman when I graduated. So we've got some experienced guys that are playing together, and I think it's finally showing, and they have some continuity.
Garin, you mentioned the experienced guys, and next year some of them will be moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you prefer to attack it through recruiting, through the portal? Like, how do you sort of see for next year, like what you want to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, the unfortunate thing about the injuries we have this year is that you have injuries. The unfortunate thing is you have some guys kind of waiting. Like John Campbell's a guy who started last year, who's really started games the last 2 years. He'll come back and be one of our tackles. Jalen Rivers, who was playing better than anyone, will be back at guard. We anticipate having five, 6 guys back who have actually played a game. So I don't think we have a pressing need to necessarily go out and get a guy. You also have a guy like Justice Oluwaseun who played some earlier this year. He's only going to get better. So I think we've got a core nucleus of guys that we don't feel pressed that we have to go get a guy. Now, you're never going to turn down any special player, but that's not something we're approaching this offseason saying we have to go get one of these guys.
Garin, how different is it protecting Tyler Van Dyke, than De'Aaron?
Yeah, well, De'Aaron's such a good athlete. He just, you never know where he's going to be at. He always keeps the play alive, and that's a good and bad thing because you got to keep playing. Tyler's very much he knows that he doesn't want to be a sitting duck back there, so he's a pretty quick decision maker. The thing I think we've been doing well with Tyler is it's been a lot of our RPO game. So he's been making quick bang decisions even on the run game. So now we're not sitting, like say the Michigan State game, we're not sitting and doing drop back pass protection 50 times a game. It's only eliminated now 10 or 12, which that minimizes our chance to really make something or make a mistake. So I think, and Tyler's done an excellent job of managing that and just getting rid of the ball quick. So they're two different guys. I think you've seen Tyler us trying to just play to his strengths, whereas we're locking the backside, whereas before we're doing more zone read stuff with De'Aaron. Now we're locking the backside and making it more so where he reads guys with his eyes and the throws. So and really like the Pitt game, a lot of our passing yards were through that. You saw Jacoby George, Miller Brinson's early catches. Those were RPO games where we call a run and he just reads it and makes the throw. So that helps us because we don't have to protect. We're blocking a run and he makes a quick decision and makes a good throw.
How will FSU be a different kind of animal for you guys? The noise factor, a lot of fans.
Yeah, I mean, really, because you can't really say the Alabama game because there were a lot of Miami fans there. And then the year before we didn't have anyone to crowd. It's probably, I don't know, North Carolina game in 2019 was the last time they probably had a hectic stadium. So that is a challenge in and of itself, just handling that noise. You've seen things like North Carolina, we were backed up in their student section and the noise got us one time. So that's stuff that we're trying to work on. We're trying to simulate by doing stuff in the indoor, but you never really know until you're in that moment how we're going to respond.
I have one more, if you guys don't mind. Short yardage situations.
Yep.
That you guys have struggled. What have you seen that's a problem? How do you fix it?
Yeah, I don't. The thing we can't do is we can't just make it this thing, and because the previous 2 games we won the game through 4-minute drill. This game we didn't. And you look back on it, you're just like, and I felt probably the same way you guys felt. It's like, man, we got to do something other than this. Feels like they're outnumbering us. I feel like we're in a bad spot. And you look at it. One was just a miscommunication between our right side on the first time, the one where Cody tried to jump. The other one, the 4th and 1, that was a bad decision by the quarterback. He should have pulled and read it. The 2nd and 3 and the 4-minute drill. Just a bad read by Rooster, and the last one, the third and one to ice the game, that was again something on the right side. So it's not like you look at it and say, man, we got to totally overhaul and change. We do have to do better. We do have to make sure our guys know the answers. We do have to make sure our guys can execute better in those situations. But we don't need to come out and throw all these tight ends and fullbacks and totally change our scheme and do what we do. We can't make it such an overcorrection that now we make it even worse than what it was. Do we have to address it? Do we have to emphasize it? Of course. Do we have to be better at it? Of course. But we also can look at it to an extreme and also mess us up. So we got to be careful with that.
It seems like since Jared's come into the starting lineup, you guys really performed well on that right side. I guess what was keeping him from starting early in the season, and I guess what have you seen from him that's really solidified things on?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's me and Jared have a great relationship, and coming into it in August camp, he just was struggling on the edge some in our pass protection, and we knew that we wanted to rely on De'Eric throwing a lot down the field, and he was just struggling some with that, and that was the biggest reason why. I think the other thing that kind of messed us up all of August camp was Zion was out, so we're shuffling guys all over. So like we had Jared at left tackle some, we had Scaife here, and it kind of threw us out of sync and out of rhythm. And unfortunately, I didn't do a good job of sorting that out quicker. But at the time, we just felt that he wasn't giving us quite what we needed on the edge pass-wise. But to his credit, he's been lights out since he's came in the lineup.
What type of challenge do they pose?
Yeah, I think it's the best group we've seen up front since Michigan State. That they are big time, big physical group, best edge rushers we've seen probably since Alabama. Really talented guys off the edge, physical in what they do. It's a 4-down front. We got our work cut out for us. We're going to have a good day. And they're not going to disguise who they are. We're 4 down. We're going to move some, but come and get it. It's us against them, and it's a good challenge. I know our guys are excited about it, but we're going to have to show up and have a great day.